Yo guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video guys. Today we're back with another video guys, and today, as you can see from the title, it's a little bit controversial title if I'm being honest, but I don't agree with it, but I want you guys to be involved in this as well. We're going to be reacting to the tragic downfall of Spoit. Yes, and I don't agree with it. I feel like Spoit is a great pro league player and beyond. But I know maybe some people might agree, some people might disagree, but I want you guys to watch this video with me because I thought it'd be interesting. So yeah, but let's get to the video. So before we start videos, of course, I want to shout out this guy called SMG Inside Siege. He made a video. This video was made 2 months ago, so this was I think just before 6th Invitational, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so around January time. Actually, we can check here, shall we? December 12th. So yeah, so before January. And I think Team Shopify, they did knock out G2. No, they did. No, they didn't. I think we knocked them out in the quarterfinals. I think so, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, oh no, the round of 16.
Accused of cheating as a kid to be from being accused of cheating as a kid to becoming the youngest major champion in Rainbow Six Siege history. But just as fast as he rose, everything started falling apart. This is the story of Spoit, one of the most gifted players the game has ever seen, and his unexpected crash in the Siege esports scene. One of his friends.
If you're gonna say to me he's a gifted Siege players, I actually disagree with that. I feel like, in my opinion, Bolo is the most gifted player I've seen ever on Siege. That's my opinion.
Introduced Spoit to Rainbow Six Siege when he was just 11 years old. What started as a casual hobby quickly became an obsession. By the time he was about 16 years old, he wasn't just playing, he was dominating. He constantly found success in the Nordic Championship leagues. By the time Spoit was 18 years old and was finally eligible to play in the professional Rainbow Six Siege scene, multiple top-tier teams approached him. The first one being G2 Esports. G2 offered Spoit to join their organization as a content creator in the beginning, but later
content creator?
G2 Esports as a professional player in the esports scene, but apparently the parties didn't come to an agreement and that deal didn't even happen. But aside from G2 Esports, there were 3 other European teams that wanted Spoit badly: Navi, Team Secret, and Rogue. Spoit did tryouts and trials for all these 3 teams, and he said that he didn't have a fun time at Team Secret, but the Navi and Rogue tryouts were perfect. Since Spoit was asked to play for Rogue by one of his close.
Bro, I missed Navi, bro. I really missed Navi. I miss them boys, bro. I miss Navi. I miss Rogue, I miss old esports, bro. I really do miss it.
His friends in the team, Kristen, aka Sathas, who was an analyst for Rogue at the time, and he was approached by them in a way more professional way. He decided to play for Rogue. Spoit quickly proved everybody that he wasn't just a ranked star that everybody was talking about. Spoit with Rogue finished the European League 2022 Stage 2 as the second.
Bro, I mean, obviously, he made the right choice. He didn't go to G2, and he didn't go into Navi or Team Secret, so fair enough to him. What did G2 finish at before? Oh, I remember NM Gaming. Bro, I miss old Team BDS. Oh my god, bro. Sorry.
Pressed him on the table, and it wasn't just that. Spoit was actually the highest rated player of the league with a
1.67. Spoit has confirmed that he's from the future. He had 6'7" overlong, bro. I fucking knew that guy was. I knew that guy was dodgy, bro.
30 rating above Shaiko, and the second finish in the EUL Stage 2 2022 guaranteed the Berlin major spot for Rogue.
By the way, being above Shaiko was not easy, but Shaiko was probably, at the time, was probably one of the best players in the world. I think so. I think beside Bolo and other players like that there.
Major 2022, Rogue was a contender, but only a few predicted that they would run the table. Yes, Spoit and this squad steamrolled the competition.
Kamikaze nips mid-round has been flawless. That leaves the Phenom to try just going down. Can he reposition in time? Yes, he can for very long, but now here he is!
There's the catch onto one. There's the second. There's Spoit with
Bro.
Spoit playing in the kangaroo spot. Gets it. There's one more for Spoit.
In a very dominant way, Rogue made it to the grand final of the Berlin Major versus FaZe, and in one of the most exciting grand final matches ever in the history of Rainbow Six Siege, which 3 out of the 5 maps were played all the way until the overtime match point, Rogue managed to edge out FaZe and win the tournament.
Nastro expects on the downstairs. Last 15. It's literally now or never. Spoit finds 1, 2 left standing. The plan's got to get stuck.
What is Astro doing, bro? Why is he not turning his back, bro? I know Spoit was in front of him, but still.
Well, yesterday they took the crown from LA. Today they take the kingdom from Blacktown.
It's mental if like that Spoit won his first year of Pro League A major. Oh my god, that voice crack. A major. It's actually mental, but I think it was only 18, 19, 17. Is it 17? I actually don't fucking know. I think it was. Did he say 17? I don't know. But anyway, no, he has to be 18, I think, to play professional pro league. But yeah, it's mental the fact that he was only 18 and won a major, or even if he was 19.
Was an only a tournament win for Spoit. The Berlin Major made Spoit the youngest ever Rainbow Six Siege player to win a major, and he was the MVP of the tournament too with an overall rating of 1.09.
So now, if you look at the big picture, Spoit from that tournament was probably one of the top 5 Siege players in that year. If we're being realistic, right? I don't know at the time he was the top 5, but I'm gonna say he was the top 5 anyway. Because if you go for MVP and you won a major, tells you a lot. Do you know what I mean? Tells you a lot. Especially for MVP. If he was an MVP, so if someone else got the MVP, I'll put him top 10.
After the Berlin Major victory, Rogue roster was acquired and merged under the banner of the Spanish organization Spoit.
Koi, I remember Koi.
New energy and bigger investments, but instead it was the beginning of a heartbreaking decline. And
to be honest, that team was very good. That Canto, Spoit. Oh, what's that guy's name in the middle? I forgot the guy's name in the middle, but he was very good as well.
Spoit's first tournament as a player of Koi was the 6th Invitational 2003,
Crying.
and winning the 6th Invitational was Spoit's biggest dream in Rainbow Six Siege. But the results wasn't enough to make Spoit achieve his dream. Even though they had a very strong start in the tournament and made it to the upper bracket semifinals, they were stopped by W7M. And later in the lower bracket quarterfinal, Astralis eliminated Koi from the tournament.
Sound of the diffuser will go down. Forrest attempting it. Iconic as the
Iconic, bro. I remember that guy. Shout out to him, bro.
They're not moving in. He sees the shoulder of one. It's a post plant. Caught by the Oryx.
Leon.
To save his team.
That was Leon, I remember. But that guy coached for Astralis. I think he's an SSG now.
But Spoit was by far the best player in Koi. He was among the top 5 best players of the 6th Invitational 2023 with
So it's still pretty good. I mean, he made the 5th spot for being the top player in the Invitational. That's good. That's very good. Of course, Shaiko, Benji, but I remember Benji for G2. Beautiful person.
rating of 1.17, and the 6th Invitational 2023 was Spoit's first and last tournament played with Koi. In March 2023, Spoit was on the move. Just when his career seemed to hit a dead end in Europe, the North American team knocked on the door, and that team was M80. This was a monumental shift, a new region, a new meta, a different world. But Spoit decided to take the risk and said that joining M80 was a no-brainer at the time. Spoit had a great start with M80. Spoit and M80 won the North America League Stage 1 2023.
That's good.
Spoit was actually the best player of M80 in terms of stats.
That's good.
Everything was going about the same way as it was in Rogue. Early regional success followed up by another major win. Could Spoit make it happen again? They had to look for the answer in the Blast R6 Copenhagen Major 2023. But this time, the story was a little different. M80 wasn't even among the top 10 best teams in the league. They finished 13th. But surprisingly, Spoit had a great individual performance in the league. He had an overall rating of 1.15. It was...
I think, basically this video, I feel like Spoit, this video is actually pretty off disagreeing. I don't know, I disagree with everything with this video so far. Like, he's constantly being up in the top 10. He won a major. He was one of the best players for M80, plus also Koi. I mean, like, I don't know.
The 9th best player of the tournament. But this international disaster became the fuel for their fire to make it to the grand final of the Gamers 8 2023. Spoit versus Shaiko in the grand final of the Gamers 8.
Selma. So one less thing that can get open. Finally, we see an opening pick come in onto Renshiro. Gomez, he's been pretty good in that stat line so far. Bride there for the trade.
Beautiful shot. Beautiful shot.
Is still there. Leaky back on the flank.
Oh, wow, they wiped them. They wiped them.
He's got to find all the kills.
But at the same time, that BDS team was probably one of the best teams at that time. In my opinion, G2 Esports, Legacy, the likes of Pengu, Jonas, Fabian, Kanto Kerry, and bro, I forgot his name. I know who he is. Gonzo, bro. Some Gonzo. I forgot, bro. That's the best team ever. That's the best team ever in Rainbow Six Siege, in my opinion.
BDS, they do it it again out here in Saudi Arabia.
And sadly for Spoit, M80 got destroyed in the grand final versus BDS. The same disaster was repeated in their next international stop. The performance in the Atalanta Major was another blunder, and this was one of the worst performances we've ever seen from Spoit in the tournament. His overall rating was 0.82
Okay,
and
that's fair enough.
9 kills on KD. That's not the Spoit we knew. The same thing happened in the 6 Invitational. The Manchester Major was way better, but nothing crazy yet. And even the regional dominance started to crumble. They either finished first or second for 3 consecutive stages, but in mid-2024, they barely finished 4th. And
Listen, at the end of the day, my opinion, as a player, I played Siege a lot, also different guys like Valorant, Overwatch, no fuck it, just Siege, just Siege. I think the players and esports players can have a bad run of form, and that is true. That's like with athletes, athletes. For example, Michael Jordan had a bad form. LeBron never had a bad form. LeBron is a GOAT. Ronaldo, Messi, Lewandowski, Suarez, Wayne Rooney. People, every single athlete / esports player will have a bad run of form. There's nothing you can do about it. For example, Spoit had bad run of form. Oh wow, but we know how Spoit good can be. It's like same with Bolo. Bolo maybe had a bad run of form, but we know how good Bolo could be. Do you know what I mean? Maybe M80 wasn't the team that for this Spoit's playstyle, or vice versa. Maybe Spoit thought the team was better. You know what I mean? Never know.
SI 2025 was the nail on the coffin. M80 finished 16th in the 6 Invitational 2025, and his points stats wasn't great.
I think it was top 20, isn't it? For City Official at the time.
6 on KD. And in my opinion, Spoit as a player wasn't the problem at M80. But in a very shocking move, M80 decided not to renew Spoit's contract in February 2025. The prodigy once again was a free agent. The promising North American adventure ended in a bitter disappointment. Spoit joined Shopify Rebellion in March 2025. He teamed up with the legendary Troy Canadian, one of Siege's all-time greatest IGLs. The narrative was perfect. The young prodigy needed the wisdom of the veteran champion to rediscover his winning touch. Spoit started fine with Shopify Rebellion. They finished 3rd in the North America League Stage 1 2025, and they finished 3rd again in the North America League Stage 2. And they also had a mediocre performance in the Esports World Cup in between of the 2 stages. They finished 7th in the Esports World Cup. But next, it was time for the Munich Major 2025. Spoit was on fire, and he was ready to take the trophy this time. Of course, with the stacked squad of Shopify Rebellion, with the wisdom of Troy Canadian, they definitely had the talent and the mindset.
Shopify are strong, I must say.
But apparently none of those were enough. The results were depressing. They only won 1 match out of their 4 matches and were eliminated from the tournament.
Wow.
And finished 13th overall.
Didn't know that.
Just months after Spoit's departure, M80 under Fabian's leadership finally found their rhythm. They won the Munich Major in one of the most dramatic ways possible. They fought their way to the grand final through the lower bracket and defeated the strongest team in the tournament, Falcons, in the grand final. The team that Spoit helped to build. The team he had poured his passion into it won a major almost immediately after he left. Spoit had a lot of highs and lows in his career. A lot of people say that if he wouldn't have won the Berlin Major very early into his career, the pressure on his shoulders would have been much lighter, meaning his early success in the Rainbow Six Siege esports scene ruined the rest of his career. But Spoit's story isn't over, but the question remains. Can the prodigy reignite the flame, or will his championship career forever be defined by one glorious fleeting victory at the age of 18?
Can I be honest? I'll be truthfully honest, right? I disagree with this entire video. I really do. Apart from, I think in my opinion, Bolo what is the prodigy. Well, whatever you want to say, the most technical player I've ever seen in my life. But before we end this video, I want to say one thing, right? I feel like the fact that Spoit won the major so early into his career, I think that is not the reason why he failed as a player in general. Well, he hasn't failed as a player, sorry, but let me rephrase that. The reason why, oh my god, I can't, what's the word I'm looking for? Yes, when Spoit won the major early on into his career, it's not the reason why he hasn't performed the same level he has till now. There you go. It's just that, in my opinion, right, Spoit is still a very, very good player. I think he has another level to him, in my opinion. I feel like he still has another level to him. But Spoit, right? The reason why I didn't work in M80 even though he's probably one of the best players at the time at M80, maybe just because the team was not good enough. That's what it was, maybe. But for example, new players come in, like Stompin, he's coming in new as a player at the moment. And so Stompin, new metas, new Siege, Siegex, so there's always a factor to why maybe a player is not performing the way he is. Could be also, for example, now he plays for Shopify Rebellion, which is a very good team. They have Canadian, they have him, they have Leon. That's still a good team. I mean, it has to click. It has to click. That's what with esports, is that the teams have to click. The player might not click with the team. That's okay. That's okay. They will just move on. Do you mean? I'm not gonna say M80 didn't click with Spoit. It's maybe Spoit didn't click with M80. Maybe M80 didn't click with Spoit, but Spoit was clicked in his own mind. I'm chatting shit, honestly. I'm chatting shit. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. I do also play Siege a lot on my Twitch. Twitch is ttv/Maddie051. And I do Siege content in general and other games like that. Other games with Valorant and different games like that there. So yeah. But guys, thank you for watching. Take care, guys. Goodbye. Peace. Love you. Bye bye.